for fans of the Mighty Marketing Mojo, and I promised my coaching group that I was going to go live in Facebook today and chat. And of course, the very moment I decided to do that, thunderstorms have reappeared. And for the folks who are in my goals coaching group, you know that, well, that could be a challenge, right? Earlier in the spring, we had thunderstorms that then turned into a tornado. But that's hopefully not going to be the case today. I decided I wanted to broadcast someplace other than my office, because my office is now loud because my computer's making video, and now it's loud because of thunderstorms, but I'm going live anyway because we're rolling with it. Why are we rolling with it? Well, it's the theme that I put to this video, and the theme that went out in the email that I sent to my folks today. And that was that, I'm trying to get comfortable here, that sometimes you just have to keep swimming, like Nemo and Dory. And for those of you who are not fans of Finding Nemo, well, what are you waiting for? Go. It's like the best Pixar Disney film ever, I think. But there's a scene toward the end, and they're encouraging these other fish to try and get out of the net. And the way you do that is they've learned if you just keep swimming all together, great things can happen. And it's the power both of the group and it's the power of you just keep swimming, just keep moving. And I joked in the email today that anybody who's a fan of the movie, as soon as I'm going to say just keep swimming, they're going to have Ellen DeGeneres and Dory in their head singing the song about, you know, just keep swimming. And so the question of, you know, okay, why did I bring that up? And there's two reasons. One, because I shared a personal story and, you know, some lessons learned in life and as applies to business and marketing. The past weekend, we were taking these mini long weekend, they're even not that long, like Friday to Sunday, weekends away to local places because we were checking out some spots and places we haven't been and explored to. And the great part about being a solopreneur is, yeah, I can take off on a Friday, and if I need to, catch up on work and just work a little harder the other days of the week, or just not at all. And so we're a little under 2 hours away up in the Delaware Water Gap. It's a national park, and somehow, you know, I was getting anxious about what we were doing on Saturday, and instead of doing what we were maybe planned on doing, I was looking up other alternatives and like, hey, let's go rafting on the Delaware River. And then we get to the place, the outfitters, and they're like, yeah, we don't have rafts from here. And rafts are like 6-hour trips. I'm like, I am not doing 6 hours on the river. That wasn't the plan. Like, so we have this 8 miles. It's about a little under 3 hours kayaking. Okay, kayaking was not in the plan either. The last time I was in a canoe or a kayak was 30-something years ago in like Girl Scout camp. But somehow I said yes, despite all of my various anxieties about falling into the river, being cold in the water. It's not warm out here, folks. It's a thunderstorm. It's been wet. Water's not warm. Air wasn't warm. Don't lose your car keys in the river. Don't lose the phone in the river. Don't lose any of the things in the river. Don't lose me in the river, the paddles in the river, you know. But we're going to just keep do this. We're going to do this. And we get in, and I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. And that's when sort of, you know, Dory and Nemo popped into my head. I'm like, we're just going to keep swimming. Well, I hope I'm not actually in the river and swimming, but we're going to keep paddling. And so that's what I did in the kayak. I just kept paddling. We weren't going to stop for lunch. We weren't going to stop and picnic. If the currents got us and we turned ourselves around, I was just going to keep paddling. Because anybody knows you can't turn around and go backwards. Nobody's going to paddle upstream in the river, even when the current's not that bad. Business is kind of like the same way. We can't go backwards. And it's silly for us to fight and go upstream. And sometimes we do that. I feel like we're fighting against ourselves and we're going upstream. We just got to keep going forward. We have to keep paddling. Just keep swimming. The other thing that was really applicable was that constantly, the entire 8 miles down the river, was course corrections. You know, my husband who was in the back telling me, you know, paddle a little more to the left, a little more to the right, more to the left, There was mostly not cursing, but it was constant adjustments to try and figure out, because we're going forward, we have a goal in mind, but you got to go with the river, and you literally have to go with what you're being given. And then the wind blows, and there's a headwind, and you make corrections. And that's what we do in our businesses. And that's what I advocate to my clients and my community do with your marketing. You have to correct. We're going to come against the currents of social media. We're going to come up against the currents of changes in email, and you course correct. And you make, sometimes they're minor, changes, because you have a goal, you have something focused. And here's the other thing. Our goal kept changing. I mean, the big goal was to get down the river and get me out the boat ramp and all in one piece. And, not having lost anything, there are no photos of this trip from the river, because I'll be damned if I was taking my smartphone out of the waterproof pouch. There's a picture of before and there's a picture afterwards. But it was also about enjoying in the moment. But we kept resetting goals. We had interim goals the entire 8 miles down the river. My husband and I, we'd be looking off, and I'm the one in the front, so I'd be like, okay, you see that tree overhanging the river. You see that set of rocks. You see, okay, hopefully not too many rocks. And we course corrected. We're like, okay, you know what? We're going to look and we're going to see, you know what? I see some stuff up ahead, and we're going to want to be more right this time. Or, you know what? The wind is blowing a lot off of our left now, and if we get a little closer over here to the left-hand bank, we'll be out of the wind, and maybe it's easier paddling. And that's what we have to do. We're scanning. We have to scan the environment for our businesses, for where our clients are, where our customers are, and figure out, what do we need to do to make an adjustment? Do we need to go over here in the shade of those trees for a little while and try and take it easier? Do we need to head out into the water for a little bit further because, oh, hey, current going faster, we can zoom to our goal a little bit faster? And course corrections, constantly. We're going to tweak this email. We're going to tweak this plan. As long as it's getting us forward and you're going to get to those interim goals and midpoints, then you're doing okay. And, potentially there's a lot of different ways. There were a lot of different ways of getting down this river. We could have tubed, and it could have taken us, 7 hours. We could have been in the raft, and that might have taken 6 hours. We could have been in the canoe. I think that would have taken a little bit longer. I might have been a little bit drier next time, or we're in the kayak, and it's probably the fastest way down the river. It was even faster because I just kept paddling. I didn't stop at all. My arms and my shoulders and my back paid for it later. We just kept paddling, so the trip was done in about 45 minutes faster than we thought. And sometimes that's what works in business. You're going to choose a faster route because you just need to get to that end goal this time. Other times, you're going to choose the tubes, and you're going to take it easy. Other times, you're going to choose the raft. Other times, we're going to just skip the river altogether. I wouldn't do it right now after all the thunderstorms and the rain we've had. Course corrections, adjustments, but we keep moving. We keep moving forward because we can't go backwards. I couldn't go backwards up the river. You and your business can't go backwards. Marketing isn't going to go backwards. There are some fundamentals like paddling strokes. There's fundamentals that are going to apply no matter what. Other things, we change. And that was just sort of the lesson. That was what popped into my head after this weekend. And also part of it was like, woo, I actually did it, got done. And, kept the anxiety level to a dull roar. And, I did it because I kept pedaling. And so I wanted to share that both, when I emailed my community, my Mighty Marketing Mojo folks. And if you're not part of my email community, I'd really love it if you join me there. If you go to mightymarketingmojo.com, there's a sign-up form on the page, and I send you some of my, I think it's 7 to 10 of my favorite social media time-saving tools. And you get the tools, and then you get the emails, including my Thursday tips. When I talk to a little bit about marketing tips, I share marketing tools, I share things that I'm reading. So that's how, if you are watching this later or live and you're not getting one of my emails, well then here's how you go fix that. That's your course correction. And in the meantime, I wanted to take the time to do the video today because, as one of my friends who's watching reminded me, hashtag not working, I am mostly off again this weekend. I am taking off. I'll work some tomorrow morning, but we have two things on the plan, assuming it ever stops raining. I have baseball tickets again tomorrow night because that's part of my not working, that's part of my solopreneur self-care plan. And it's very special because one of my favorite all-time players is retiring officially tomorrow night. And we're going to the ceremony because I want that bobblehead and I am wearing his jersey. And then we're going away for the weekend because we're going to go celebrate our anniversary. It's our 21st anniversary, and we're going to go away for one of our favorite quick spots in, well, the whole United States. And because who vacations in Florida in June or July? And we are for 24 hours. So I wanted to do this video now because I am going to, as a solopreneur often can do, take some time off this weekend, not think, not work, doing the lazier floating down the river of business, and we'll get back to paddling probably on Tuesday. Hopefully my friends who I'd also encouraged and nudged to go do Facebook Lives, you know, I'm going to maybe see if this is a thing. Maybe I'll share Thursday tips on Facebook as well as via email, but it's going to be a little bit different. So I'd love it if you know, those of you who watch later on, drop me a comment and let me know a time when you either had to make a course correction in your business, a course correction in your marketing, you know, or whether or not the just keep paddling is something that, and just keep swimming, if that's something that made you smile and inspired you today too. So I thank you, and thank you very much, Liz, for watching, and I am so glad that you are also a Finding Nemo and a Just Keep Swimming fan too. So before the thunderstorms get any worse and knock out my power again here, I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope it is a mighty week, and just keep swimming.